I thought since the children's sermon had a prop, I'd bring a prop for you guys as well. So here it is. Does this look familiar? How many people have ever received one of these?
20.
Plenty, yes. When you get a prescription from the doctor and go to the pharmacy to get it filled, often you get this along with your medication. And it not only tells you what the medication is, how you should dispense it, how you should take it, but it also tells you side effects, tells you precautions, other drugs that might interact with it, warns you about overdose, and then of course there are all the disclaimers that the company has. So it tells you the good and the bad. You know, in the days when we took an aspirin and didn't think of it, it's no longer so. Aspirin comes with warning. We know that aspirin reduces fever, inflammation. It's good as a blood thinner, you know, as you try to reduce the risk of strokes or heart attack. But aspirin can cause a rash, it can cause abdominal pain, it can cause bleeding, it can cause drowsiness, which is dangerous if you're driving. So the bottle tells you all of that, the good and the bad. And your role in all of this, your job in all of this, is to weigh the good and the bad, and then to decide what to do. Do I take this drug or do I not? And it's not only about medication or whether you should have a certain medical procedure done or not. It also has to do with just the things we take on in life. For example, one day a group of teachers and I gathered together, and as we usually do, we start sharing our war stories. And one teacher told the story of her first job straight out of teachers' college. And she was really pleased that she got this job in a public school as head teacher. It was a little way from home, but generally this was good. She had benefits, she had insurance. I mean, she was so pleased with herself as this young lady just graduating from college. And she goes to that teacher's work day and she hears about the resources that she will be given, the supplies and everything. And then after the teacher's meeting, the principal calls her into his office to tell her a little bit more about her specific class. The good that he told her was that she was fortunate because the school had grown so much that they had actually had addition built on, and she was in one of the newer classrooms, so that was good news. She also had her class list, and then she was told that, well, it's a challenging class, had a reputation. They were quick to fight. A couple of teachers had gotten hurt. But the good news was there were 2 kids on the class list, which she had highlighted their names, who she could trust to run to the office to get help. She weighed the good, she weighed the bad, and she said, no, thank you. This is what Jesus is doing in today's gospel. You see, discipleship is not all fun. Following Jesus has some, well, let's just say, downside to it. Some challenges, yes. There is the good. Jesus has said, and you heard it in last week's reading, that the harvest is plentiful. There is work to be done. And Jesus sends out the disciples. He feels that they can do the job. They have gifts. They have gifts of healing. They have the gifts of preaching. They have the gifts of teaching because they have been following him and learning from him. This is good news. They are to be like him in the field, in this mission field. They are to be self-giving, all good. But then he says, there is challenge ahead of you. Persecution, rejection, opposition. In fact, it's not just out there in the wide world. It's in your own house, in your own family. There are going to be people who will reject you because you are following me. In your neighborhood, there are going to be people who will oppose you because you are preaching the gospel. In your faith community, there are people who will want you to be thrown out of the congregation because they do not believe the teachings of Jesus. You are in for a wild ride. It is not going to be an easy course. But, says Jesus, God has your back. God loves you so much. This is what we just told the kids, that he knows you to the point that he can tell you how many hairs you have on your head. God loves you so much that he will give you the words that you need, but he will also support you in the field. You can trust that God will be there with you, the God who loves you, the God who holds you. And so Jesus says, do not be afraid. Do not fear. 3 times in this gospel lesson we hear the words, do not fear. Richie, who comes to the 8 o'clock service and is a regular at our morning Bible studies on a Thursday, says that the Bible has do not be afraid 366 times, 1 for each day, even during the leap year. And here in this passage, we hear it 2 times, and I would even say 3. Do not be afraid. God, who loves you, who holds you, who cherishes you, is with you. I do not know if you're familiar with the gospel song, His Eye is on the Sparrow. But that song was based on this piece of scripture. And the 2nd verse goes like this. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender word I hear. And resting on his goodness, I lose my doubts and fears. Though by the path he leadeth, but one step I may see. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. We are followers of Jesus, and we can go out into the mission field. We can follow that path because we have the assurance that Jesus watches us. Amen.
Amen.